Good evening, everyone. So today I'm going to be showcasing the plant and structure function of two flowers. The first one is a Japanese pink, which the scientific name for that is Dianthus chinensis, and the yellow daffodil, which is also called the Narcissus pseudonarcissus. So we're going to start with the stems. The stems are both changing green shades. They range from a darker shade of green towards the end of this and the beginning of this, and fluctuates between a lighter, almost yellow green, and continues changing back and forth to the top and the bottom of the flower. Up next we have the petals and the Japanese pink. It's a very dark pink petal. It almost looks red in this lighting, but it is a hot pink shade. And the yellow daffodil, because again it's February, these ones were not quite as developed, because they're almost a green, but it's a very bright yellow, as you will see later on in this video. These ones have longer, wider stem pieces, less chlorophyll in them, and these ones have a lot more towards the bottom, and they're almost shaped like a stingray, whereas these are shaped like a feather duster or a piece of a ceiling fan. Now on to the leaves. The leaves of the Japanese pink are much more narrow, and they come to a point like a sewing needle. And this one is almost shaped like the leaves of a carnation. Not quite in the same family, but has very similar ruffles in that respect. So that is how these two are very similar. Of course, this one is a more yellowy shade, whereas this one is just a dark green, consistently dark green. Up next is the pistil. And the pistil is actually made up of the stigma, style, ovary, and ovule. These are both the female parts, or not really the reproductive parts, but the female parts of the plant, which explains the names ovary and ovule being named as two parts of it. The stamen from the Japanese pink and the yellow daffodil serve the same purpose. They're both the male parts of the plant. And the Japanese pink are, again, much tinier. It's a much tinier flower. They're very thin, they're very short, and they start from this very, very rich, dark pinkish purple all the way to very white, and it happens very quickly, not gradually. Whereas this one, the yellow daffodil, is yellow and then goes to a greenish white at the tip, at almost the bell part. And those are the stamens. And some other parts I found were the sepals. I did not label them because because the other components of the flowers and the plant structure and function serve both male and female reasonings. It contains the eggs, all of the reproductive parts that are used to pass different traits or contain different traits from each generation. And lastly, I'm going to showcase the entire flower of both the Japanese pink and the yellow daffodil. As you can see, seeing the flowers in full shows how different they really look once you look at the bigger picture and not just the moving parts of a flower. And that is my presentation. Thank you for watching. My name is Kennedy Jo.